The business of podcasting is hard and treacherous. It takes time, effort, and many beers. But these two have been fighting through the pain since 2017. They've lived through the rough times and the good times. But what keeps them coming back to the bonus room high above the bougie house in the suburbs of Seattle are the ruffles and the peanuts. But is the training, is the preparation, is all the work paying off? The numbers say, no, they're not. But that won't stop these two as we enter another cold winter storm of the Scott and Tim Sports Show. And welcome into the Boyle Theater.
That's you got John. You know who that is, right?
Yeah.
John Facenda.
Yeah, John Facenda.
NFL Films.
I was really going for Levi Schreiber, who does it now.
Oh, yeah.
But I've been watching a lot of Hard Knocks. The AFC North Hard Knocks. Oh my God, it's so good.
That.
Now, here's
so that's so it's the Steelers and all.
It's Cincinnati. It's the AFC North. It's
yeah,
Cincinnati, Steelers, Ravens, Browns.
Yeah.
And I can tell you, welcome into the Boyle Theater. Scott Oshman, Tim Boyle, by the way. We're on the YouTube on STSPN. Tonight's broadcast is brought to you by STSPN. We have a new sponsor, Tim. This is very exciting, but let me talk about the AFC North Hard Knocks. You got to watch it. Although I want to let everybody know, there's your mic you forgot, by the way.
Oh, there it is. Yes.
I must tell you, episode 3. Okay. This is not a spoiler. I know I'm Scotty Spoiler, but this is more a PSA. In episode 3, they do a whole storyline on FFR.
Of course they do.
On Fake Fat Russ, if you're new here. We have 45 YouTube watchers, which was alarming.
That's a lot for the YouTube side.
It's alarming. Welcome into the Faithful 48.
Who are these people?
I don't know. But I got to that point and I'm like, they started talking about his training and they did this whole I go, I can't. I just can't. I couldn't do it.
What'd you do?
I couldn't suffer. I started to fast forward.
Oh, he's just insufferable.
And then in the episode 1 and 2, again, this is just a public service announcement. I think I'm doing it for the safety of everybody out there. If you feel like we do about FFR, you have to stomach the good times of the Pittsburgh Steelers because he gets hot, right? And he
did get hot for a bit.
He did.
But now they've lost like what, 4 in a row?
I know.
Was it 5 in a row or 4 in a row?
I don't remember.
But Justin Fields has a better winning percentage than FFR.
I'm just telling you, it's worth the watch, but you have to stomach through the good times of
I can't do it.
Russ.
I don't think I can do it.
And by the way, he's put on some LBs. I'm just saying.
He's back to Fake Fat Russ.
Yeah. Should I talk about our sponsor before we get to
existential
threats? Tonight's program is brought to you by an outstanding book that is going to be out within the next 10 years. Maybe sooner, maybe later. We don't know. It's a complicated negotiation.
It is. And we might be in trouble after it gets published.
Well, it's not by us.
Oh, that's true. We're ghostwriters.
No, we have ghostwriters. We're just an inspiration. It's coming out to Amazon and any bookstore near you. It's called The Double Standard.
And there's many chapters.
A lot of.
What's like the first chapter? I think I know what it is. It's up to
debate. Okay, what's the first chapter?
The first chapter would have to be the social calendar.
Yeah, I was thinking scheduling.
The scheduling.
We've had a lot of development meetings on this over the years.
There has been a lot.
And honestly, there's a lot of debate. You think we debate about NIL?
But you think if you're a husband, you'll know what we're talking about. If you're a wife, you might get mad. So bear with us.
You know what, though? I've been thinking about this. When this book is gone to print, which it will in someday, and whoever, again, we're going to have a piece of it. Okay. It's going to make millions of dollars.
Oh yeah. It's going to be like the Christmas Eve of the Christmas Carol when it came out in 1843. The books were just gone that night.
Because the double standard, but I've thought about this. The wives could create their own book of double standards.
Well, they're the ones that create them.
I know. They need a rebuttal to the book, the double standard.
Yeah, so there might be a.
But we're very excited. We're getting pennies for their sponsorship, but we're really excited.
But the social calendar one, that's one everybody can relate to. When you're a husband and you're not allowed to make plans without checking with the wife. Of
course,
right? I mean, that's pretty much.
No.
But the wives, they'll make plans and they'll say, "Oh, by the way, Friday night we're going to so and so's house." What? Oh, I told you back in March.
That's a little too close to home.
Is that? Oh, whoops.
No, it is remarkable on the calendar and the scheduling coordination.
But it's a universal.
No, okay, let me ask you this. Let me just start and ask you this. Do you have a shared calendar between you and the wife? And I don't know. I mean, the girls are often on their.
No, I'm not on it. I'm not on it
either.
Oh, see,
I'm not either.
I think that's all a conspiracy. That's all.
My wife and daughters who are grown have their own shared calendar, which I am not a part of.
Thank you. Me too. It used to be like the cozy calendar. And I asked the other day, I'm like, why am I not on this calendar? Oh, well, I couldn't do the cozy anymore and blah, blah, blah. And then somehow the subject gets changed. But yeah, no, I'm with you. I think that's planned.
Is it planned? This is so funny because I will be talking to one of the daughters just casually about something and they'll be like, oh yeah, we're blah, blah. I'm like, what? She's like, you don't know about that? I'm like, no. And they're all like, oh, that's right. You're not on the shared calendar. You're not on the family calendar.
In my house, it's like, I told you about that, 6 months ago.
No, I know. And then the impromptu, like the last second. Oh yeah, I'm going over to Tracy's tonight. That just flows out. Now, if I didn't communicate within the certain time period that is allowed in the requirements,
well, and you got
that I'm going to Tim's on Friday night,
and you got to get the proper approvals. It's got to go through the Secretary of Commerce.
Absolutely, there's a lot of paperwork.
Yes,
there's
red tape.
100%.
It's a bureaucracy.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Now I've had 30 years of training, so I'm getting good at it.
So now we've just given you a little peek into just the first chapter.
That's just
the expert of the first chapter. There's a lot of chapters.
There is a lot. There's a lot of chapters. Anyway, the double standard. Look for it at a bookstore near you.
Abner Doubleday Printing.
Someday before we're dead.
And you can get it on any podcast too.
Yeah, that's right. I think we should like put excerpts of each chapter maybe in the episodes of the podcast. Do you think so?
I think every podcast will do a little teaser of the next chapter.
That's good marketing.
Yeah, it is.
That's good marketing. If you'll notice, YouTube watcher, listener, I am drinking a beverage, my usual beverage here at the Boyle Theater, the Coors Light, in a beautiful glass bottle. Just tastes better.
I think you actually brought those like the last 3 podcasts ago.
I did. And Tim
don't. We're gonna get to that in just a minute here.
The existential threat.
Yes. Yes.
Okay.
So we'll get.
What do you want to go to?
Okay.
Next?
Let's go to existential threats.
Oh my God.
How about that? Well, we got to tell the listeners what we're doing.
What's your time? Your watch works different than mine.
Well, you can't just like go. You got to tell them where we're at, right?
Okay.
So existential threat. Scott and I both came up with this kind of at the same time.
This is ad hoc.
This was ad hoc.
Do you have ad hoc meetings?
No.
What does ad hoc mean?
Doesn't it just mean like you're shooting from the hip?
No, it's exactly what we're talking about, the double standard. It's not planned. It's not in the plan. It's just an ad hoc. It just comes up.
Exactly.
Okay.
So existential threat, we'll get you one in a minute. Don't worry. You'll be okay for 5 minutes. I won't be, but you will. Existential threat. Who is the woman or the person that came up with dry January? Because I'm having to do dry January all of a sudden.
You're having to do it?
I'm forced.
And you do this every year, by the way, I think.
Last year, I think we did dry February.
Really?
I think so. It was
because you picked the shorter month.
True. That's a good point. You're on to something. But I think it's the same lady that came up with the little gift bags when they get done with a youth basketball game. They get those little baggies of all those treats and stuff.
Should we ask ChatGPT?
I think it's the same lady that came up with that did Dry January.
Really?
Yes.
So we're gonna ask.
It's one of those crazy moms.
Okay, so why are you doing?
I have no idea.
What do you mean you have no idea?
I don't know why.
Why did you agree to this?
It's part of the double standard. I was just told
you were voluntold?
I was. This could be one of the chapters.
Dry January was started by Alcohol Change UK, a British charity. It's the friggin' Brits.
The Brits.
Seriously, they drink like fish.
There's no way the Brits are doing Dry January.
This is what ChatGPT.
That's all. You know what that is? That's virtue signaling.
By the way, ChatGPT, I'm pretty convinced it's a dude because it's dumb.
Chat GTP. I went to the Chat GTP.
Did you?
No.
Oh.
I don't even know what that is.
That's I just did this. The Chat GTP, the chit chatty. So again, this is hysterical.
This makes it worse.
Well, the other thing is it said a British charity in 2013. Are you kidding me? I thought this is relatively new.
Well, it just worked its way over to this side of the pond.
That's actually laughable that the Brits came up with this.
They're the
shit.
last people that.
Oh my God! You go onto the tube and they're bringing half racks, full racks. They're drinking their brains out at 10 in the morning.
Back when the British made like the semifinals of the World Cup when it was in Germany, they drank. Remember they were drinking all the beer. Do you remember this?
That's right.
There was no beer left because the Brits were drinking it all. Like at 9 in the morning, every bar would be out of beer.
The existential threat is Dry January. This is bullshit. Okay, this is ridiculous. What are you supposed to do? You're gonna make up for it. Now again, that
means I'm gonna be drinking a lot in February.
Well, you got 11 months to make up for it.
I do.
But the problem here I see is like it's not like, what am I gonna do? My 3 Coors Lights I have every 2 weeks.
Yeah,
I mean that's not even drinking. I barely drink anymore.
Well, that's why you're not doing Dry January. I probably drink more than you.
You do, but you're a trained professional.
That's true. I'm a coog.
Oh, we're going to talk about the
and Scott, by the way, just so this is on record, Scott's trying to get me to break Dry January tonight.
I'm not trying to get you. It's a suggestion. It's a
suggestion.
It's an assumptive close is what we like to call in the sales business. Because it's not fun drinking alone.
And there is one huge problem with what you're doing.
What?
My wife listens to the podcast.
I know.
But she may not listen to it.
Let's just talk. Well, hold on. Just Mindy, are you out there? I need you to pause the volume. Just pause the volume for a little. Just skip this section.
Fast forward it.
It'll be fine.
Now, here's the beauty of it. She may not listen to this till I'm gone, and I may be in Texas by the time she's even listening to this.
Like, come on.
If you don't drop it till tomorrow.
Seriously, you're gone the next 2 weeks.
I am gone 2 weeks straight.
You have a trade show, which I have attended many, many times, the SHOT Show.
Correct.
And you're going to Dallas with your hoity-toity expense everything, drink everything, buy everything company.
True. Not in that order. I'm doing Dallas first, then the SHOT Show. Yeah.
Now, again, Mindy, mute this.
Mindy's actually going to SHOT Show.
Wait, what?
Yeah. Oh, they bring the wives down for this thing.
Oh, you told me that last year, but you had just started.
We're getting a big party bus and all that stuff.
And wait, is this and Dry January is going to exist?
Apparently, Dry January is on pause.
This is a joke. This is an absolute comedy. Oh my God.
I was wondering if you were going to catch on to that.
Yeah, there's no way Dry January exists.
It exists in people's minds.
This is bullshit. You know what? That makes me want to have you have a beer even more.
But
I'm not going to feel bad.
Apparently, in Vegas at SHOT Show, it doesn't count.
This is crazy. That's why it's a threat. That's why it's a legitimate threat. I'm concerned.
I'm sure you are. All right, we better pause so you can take a break. So you can
we're at the pause point. We got to take a break. We got to come back. We have a big list. Obviously, college football.
Is this actually a sport? Because how long are we into this thing? We haven't even
15.
talked.
We're at our first segment.
We haven't done. Oh,
That's
we did the
Open.
John Facenda Open. That was technically sports.
This is a sports program.
NFL Films.
Yeah, this is sports program.
We're listed under the comedy section.
Well,
I told you that.
Well, for a reason.
Because of me.
I was gonna, John Facenda did the first cut. I had to have him redo it. He was talking about how we think we're the funniest people. The only reason we do this is because it cracks ourselves up.
Oh, of course.
We've never met a Mike we didn't like. All right.
Very true.
We're gonna take a break. We'll be back with much more sports content right after this.
If you weren't listening the last time these guys got together, you've got to be kidding me.
All right, welcome back here, the Royal Theater. Had a nice time at the Vittles tray.
Apparently there was an end to a streak here.
Well, because this is ridiculous. This is ludicrous.
And
I mean, okay, there's hypocrisy, which I raise my hand, right? Especially as a sports fan. I mean, my God, we're just riddled with hypocrisy. But this is baloney.
It's not hypocrisy. It's just stupid. There's a difference.
It doesn't make any sense.
And I'm here to say, not that I'm blaming you for this, but I'm totally blaming you for this.
You know what? Bring it. Blame me all you want. Bring it. Bring it.
I told you. The problem is my wife listens to the podcast. Now, the good thing is I've got like a grace period because she doesn't usually listen to it for like 3 days or 4 days after it's dropped because she's got other ones she listens to.
Of course she does. Well, I hope
I could be in the safe zone until I'm gone to Texas.
This is God, you're gonna have to like send out a tweet or something or on Instagram. You have to post whether you made it out in time.
I know it's gonna be touch and go.
Well, listen. Okay, well, we'll wait till the bonus section. I gotta filter myself here. I do like it here, and I like coming back. Okay, so the college football playoffs.
Yes.
All right. Now,
last podcast we discussed, who got screwed, blah blah blah. But what we didn't discuss is it
was before the New Year's Day.
Correct. It was the 19th. But the teams were out. We knew who was playing who, but they hadn't played yet.
Right.
No, what we didn't discuss was Kirk Herbstreit going off the rails and completely off the deep end. And I know you love the guy.
I like Herbie.
He's your best buddy.
Yeah, he's a good
and I
guy.
was starting to like him. I was trying to like him. His dog passed away. I got on that bandwagon. I was sad. It's a golden retriever.
Yeah.
You've got one. I had one.
Ben.
Yeah. But then he got the dog the next day. Like he brought another dog back.
Yeah, that really upset you. That really triggered
He brought
you.
like Peter. What's he doing? You don't do that.
Well, he's lonely.
Oh, come on. He's not lonely.
He needs a companion.
He's not.
I thought, you know what? I told you, this is what happened about dudes, okay? We need companion. Like,
okay, then why doesn't everybody else travel with their dog? Because there's like 1,000 announcers.
You remember
there.
Don Oshman? You remember the Yiddish word of the week?
Yes.
Oy vey.
Yeah.
We got to bring, oh, God, shout out Hoy. Okay, my mom passed away, and it was like 3 months, and he was on JDate, the Jewish dating site.
I know, but Kirk's wife didn't pass away.
His dog did.
His dog did.
He needed a new dog.
Yeah, but there's got to be a little bit of a mourning period.
We can't be with ourselves.
Well, nobody else is traveling with their dog, and I don't have a problem with him traveling with his dog.
Unless he's on your flight.
Yeah. Well, no, I don't care. It's not unless he's taking up my leg room.
Yeah, or he's in the grocery store with him.
Yeah, you don't want that.
Okay, go ahead.
So
anyway. you're okay. That set you off, and then it just went ugly.
Well, but in my defense, there's like millions of people that thought he went way off the rails. He was bitching about the teams that got in and how they didn't deserve it. And
so
wins don't matter. It's the losses and blah blah blah. And basically, he was campaigning for the SEC in Alabama, and he was butthurt because Alabama wasn't in there.
This is really interesting to me because that's very rare to me. Something happened. He usually stays out of controversy. He's vanilla as hell. He's diplomatic. And for some reason, when everybody started beating on, which I thought was a joke, how the CFP, the 12 teams, they're all blowouts. This is terrible. The committee got it wrong. Blah, blah, blah. Shut up. For the last 10 years, the CFP, the 4 teams, DREC, which is more, it's not even playoffs, it's a selection invite, has been blowouts.
There's
In
been
fact,
a
the
ton of
national
them.
championship has been a bazillion blowouts.
How many times have the first round of the NFL playoffs been blowouts?
Playoffs? Yes, exactly.
I mean, that just happens. It's the nature of the beast.
Yes, it's called sports,
And
ladies
then-
and gentlemen.
And then the next year, but everything balances because then the next year, a lot of sometimes all the wild card teams win, all the home teams lose.
Even my beloved Tony Kornheiser's like, oh, the games are terrible and blah, it's too many teams. And I'm just like, what? No. And then the Arizona State game, which is down on the list. I think I'm jumping around, but first of all, should we talk about
before you go,
Street, right?
You're trying to get off the Herbie thing because you love him so much.
Come on, you're going a little too far with my love.
He doubled down. Then people were bashing him and everything, and then it turns out that Alabama ends up losing, and a bunch of the SEC teams ended up losing their bowl games
Exactly.
too. And then he doubled down, like, all I said was this. It's like, no, we've got it on. He went on like a 5-minute rant about basically how the SEC got screwed.
He did. And that was rare to me. Rare to me. I checked. I told you, I checked to see if he was still married. I thought I go, Herbie, some shit's going on with Herbie.
Yeah, definitely.
And then I tried to convince you that because Ben dying, he went off the rails because of Ben dying.
He was over Ben the next day. He brought Peter like one day later. What are you talking about?
What are with these names?
Ben and Peter. I don't know.
Anywho.
But the other thing, wait a sec. He started saying, "Oh, the fringe fans are the ones." That's what got me.
But that's the Ohio
fringe
State
fans.
The fringe fans are the Ohio State.
He's from Ohio State. He's an Ohio State fan.
He was talking about the fringe fan of Ohio State who wanted Ryan Day fired after they lost to Michigan.
No, he was also talking about the fringe fans who wanted these people in the playoff, the teams in the playoff. Trust me, I've listened to it many times.
I know you just like rewrite. You have it in a loop.
He called everybody fringe fans that wanted.
Yeah,
those teams
because that's who's on Twitter. That's on the internet. God, take it easy on Herbie.
I'm not taking it easy.
He's an American institution.
He's not.
The guy works 8,000 hours.
That's his own fault. That's not. He's supposed to be a family man. He's never home. Talk about never home. That guy's literally never home.
What do you mean? He goes to his son's high school games every Friday night.
Oh, then he jumps on a private jet right afterwards. Yeah. I don't feel sorry for him. Sorry.
For 6 months.
Not sorry.
For 6 months, he works a lot, and then he's off.
Okay.
You don't really hear from him. Okay, I'm not as worked up about her. I am concerned though because he normally
went off
doesn't
the rails.
go off. Speaking of that, did you see Lee Corso last night?
Was he dancing or something? Or
no, he was, but they've done a nice job of like protecting him. He comes in very short clips, very short.
Yeah,
segments.
he takes a lot of breaks.
Yeah, but then when they go to him, his bit is like concise and short. They don't really have him talk for a long time.
Well, he's kind of like he's a little like Joe Biden. He can't be up there very long.
Well, he's 80-some years old.
Yeah,
he had something strokes and all this other stuff.
Which I love and I like the fact that they're really good to him and they kind of
Herbie takes care of him.
They take care of him.
No, but I'm sorry, you hate Herbie.
I do, but it's time for Lee to like retire.
It is.
It really is.
They've done a nice job of kind of right, and then he puts the head on, which is the big thing at the end, right?
He put whatever team. Yeah.
But last night, like they were going around as far as picking games for the Penn State Notre Dame game or something. No, I think it was another game. I can't remember. Anyway, he went on, and it was bad.
Was he just rambling?
He started talking. You can't he's not.
Yeah,
audible.
He kind of stutters. I'm telling you, it's a lot like
stroke. He's had a stroke. Anyway, it was embarrassing and uncomfortable to watch.
I agree. It got the last couple of years. He should have retired probably 3 or 4 years.
He probably should have.
Totally agree. We finally agree on something.
Do we? Are we?
No.
Can we move on from Kirk Herbstreit?
Fine.
For crying in the night.
Well, you already moved on to Lee Corso. You're busting on Lee Corso. I'm busting on Kirk. What's the difference?
Again, here.
The difference is you busting on some 90-year-old guy. I'm busting on a guy that's like my age.
We're probably not going to agree on my next statement about game day. College
Oh,
Game Day.
boy.
First of all, the ratings off the charts. Absolutely.
You say
slanging.
everything with college football's off the charts.
It is. I showed you the data. Go read the tape.
That's
Anyway,
fake news.
it's not fake news.
Okay, so what about game day? If you're going to tell me how Pat McAfee is like your next best, he's like your next best friend.
No, he's not.
He is.
No, but Pat McAfee on that show is fantastic. I'm not a Pat McAfee big fan. I don't listen to his show. I don't watch his show. I take him in very little bites, but on that show, he's tremendous. The field goal thing is such a great bit.
The field goal thing's pretty funny.
It's fantastic.
And then once they miss, he's like, "Oh, you suck." It is pretty good.
He brings the juice. And as you can see, he's not for you and me. He ain't there for you and me.
No.
The college kids love him, and I love him with Saban. Him and Saban is great.
Sometimes
television.
it looks like Saban's just like shaking his head,
Oh,
like,
he
"What is
is.
this guy talking about?"
But yet he's on his show every week.
I know. Well, that's because he gets paid. Saban's not dumb.
No.
And Saban's on like 27 commercials too.
It's unbelievable.
He's on that new Airbnb one. It's
I might have to call Nick and have him do an open again.
Have you seen the Airbnb or VRBO
it's
one?
fantastic.
It's like, no, hey, there's a nice barbecue out there. You can't use it. No more than 2 flushes. No, 5 minutes in the shower. This is not a spa.
There's a pool out there. I don't want you using it.
Yeah. And then he's out mowing the lawn right in front of him. And
It's really
it's
good.
hilarious.
It's fantastic. He is great on television.
But I still don't think he has that much personality.
No, it's Nick Saban, but he
Yeah.
talks a lot and he says the word shit a lot. It's Nick Saban. He's right here. This is where he is.
Well, it's kind of like Belichick. I mean, if they put Belichick on funny commercials, he could probably come off as being somewhat funny too.
But they're not.
Yeah.
You notice they're not?
No.
Belichick's a whole nother conversation. You want to? Well, there's a lot of rumors. We're gonna get to the
Yeah,
job
we'll table that
shuffle.
one.
Okay, so college football playoffs. I have enjoyed the shit out of it. Yes, every game hasn't been brilliant,
But there's been great games.
There's been great games, and I was disappointed by Boise State, the mighty Broncos.
Well, they were actually in that game for most of the game.
Were, and give shout out to who'd they play? Penn State.
Yeah.
They did a great job shutting down Genty.
They did. That's why they won the game. But Boise State was in that game for at least three quarters. They were in that game.
Do you want to talk about the text I sent during that game?
I don't remember. Well, which one? There's like 1,000 during the game.
The Boise State Penn State game.
Like there was only one during that.
No,
game?
I sent you. God bless Mark. By the way, Mark Hyland's not here. If you've noticed, producer Mark.
He didn't quit on us.
Is he on a sabbatical?
Coach O quit on us.
Is this paid time off? I mean, what is happening?
He works like three shows and then he's gone for 6 months.
You're
Good
just
Lord.
you were so bummed out when he couldn't make it tonight.
We
like changed the schedule for him.
I know. Let's accommodate it. Let's make the podcast when we all three can do it. Except you're too gung ho. You'd do one tomorrow night too.
I would do one tomorrow night.
Yeah,
I do a show every day.
See, that's what I'm saying.
Is that bad? Is that wrong?
I'm not saying it's good or bad.
You would too.
Would I?
Yes.
Why would I?
Because
I
you
would
like
if
it.
what?
Because you want to.
Okay.
Anyway, wow. Okay, back on track. The text I sent you, because during the Colorado Bowl game, which they got the shit beat out of them by BYU, you and Mark, and your abusive, absolutely bully texting me. You literally,
Well,
I could file a complaint.
To be fair, you're right. We were like,
so you guys
were tearing you up.
hammering me, and you're
We
like
were abusing you.
You got Hunter, and just you're like, I don't see any Heisman talent on the field. And again, that was not a good game. They got blown out.
He did nothing.
I concede that. So of course I had to, but you didn't like my turnabout as fair play. When the Boise State, I'm like, I don't see any Genty.
I don't want the tables being turned on me.
Wait, so there's a double standard with you?
But yes.
So I'm like, I don't see any Heisman talent on the field.
But there wasn't because he didn't win the Heisman. The guy that won the Heisman.
Oh my God.
The guy that won the Heisman was
I love
in the Colorado BYU game getting his ass handed to him.
You know what I love most about you, Timothy B. Boyle?
There's a lot. There is a lot.
It's the fact when reality is in there at your convenience and to support your.
Well, what did I say that was wrong? I mean, there was. You're acting like they gave Genty the Heisman. They didn't. They gave it to Travis Hunter, and he played like crap.
And he was robbed. He was robbed.
He was.
Oh my God. Okay, can we move on to the Mighty Devils? Forks up, Arizona State.
Mark Hyland's team.
Mark Hyland, Bob Hyland.
Yes, both of them. It could sometimes it's your team depending on
let's take a quick break.
Okay.
We got to calm down. You're getting a little too fired up. You haven't drank in 10 days.
I know, and I'm yeah, you're right.
So you're a little.
It's hitting me fast.
You need to simmer down.
I've had a quarter of a beer.
Simmer
it's
down
like
now.
Hitting me.
You know what?
But it's Coors Light, so
it is Coors Light.
It's like kind of water on steroids.
I gotta play this. I haven't played it yet.
Play it.
Oh, for crying in the day! What are you doing?
All right, we'll be back and we'll talk about those mighty Sun Devils, Arizona State. I think they're the hottest team in college football. Dilly.
They're the hottest team in college football that didn't win, that didn't advance.
Well, and we're going to tell you why and why it's a Shonda.
Big time.
Well, hello there. This is Squid Mondale, and you're listening to the Scott and Tim Sports Show.
Okie dokie, artichoke.
We're back.
And we're still on Devil Talk. Welcome back to Sun Devil Talk. I'm your host.
We haven't really started the Sun Devil talk.
Oh, we haven't, but this is Sun Devil Radio right now.
But you were.
Hey, are you on the bandwagon or not?
I was definitely on the bandwagon. And let's just go back to the beginning. They're like, you're saying they're the hottest team right now. There's something to be said about that. They didn't lose any transfers, did they?
Not a lot, not barely any.
Nobody significant.
The guys that weren't playing.
Yeah,
I had a couple guys that weren't playing. Yeah,
bye.
And their star quarterback Sam Levitt,
he's staying.
Yeah,
I'm sure he's getting paid for it.
He is. He did a really nice thing. He gave all of his linemen. He's like sharing all of his NIL money.
Yeah, I saw that.
Yeah,
that's good for him.
Anything else about the Devils? Do you want to talk about that
game?
They
got screwed.
What a game. First of all.
There was a phenomenal game.
What a game.
And Scadaboo. Oh, my God. That guy. He should be a first-round draft pick.
I don't disagree.
He's not projected that way.
It's going to be interesting how he's used. Is he a McCaffrey?
He's a football player is what he is. He's a football player.
He's a football guy.
God, in one small stretch, he ran for a touchdown. He threw for a touchdown. He had he ran for a 2-point conversion. I mean, in just like a matter of a couple minutes.
To be fair, number 77 actually got the second one, the 2-point.
Oh, yeah, he threw him into the end zone. Yeah. That was amazing. The guy just picked him up and threw him into the end zone.
What a performance from that guy. That you don't see. It's rare today in big time college football for one player. You see it we saw it in high school. We see it in high school all the time. Yeah. One player takes over a game.
Yeah.
It's rare to see in that level of college.
It used to see it Herschel Walker used to do it.
Okay,
for Georgia.
What I'm saying it's rare.
It's rare. That's what I mean. It's very. You haven't seen it since the Herschel Walker day. Reggie Bush kind of did it a little bit, but they had a lot of other talent.
Well, you saw when Joe Burrow was at LSU, and that was.
But they had other
Burrow and Chase. It was Burrow and whatever.
Yeah.
But this kid freaking took that game over.
And they were working him so hard he was puking on the sideline, which I have a problem with.
Why?
He's puking and everybody's like, oh, what a gamer or whatever. I'm doing it. And it's like he needs to go to Alcoholics Anonymous. It's like, it's not fair.
Did you hear the whole reason why?
Why he was puking?
Yeah.
No, I just figured they were working his butt off.
No, he had a bad croissant that morning. And he had too much water, and he was not feeling good actually leading up to the game. He said in warm-ups and stuff, he was not right.
A bad croissant?
Yeah. And then when he finally upchucked, he's like, oh my God, I felt 1,000,000 times better.
We had a puker before.
We did
in one of our
the
games.
Wesco puke of the moment or whatever.
Pukerama or whatever it was.
So anyway, ASU fought valiantly. Nobody thought they'd beat. They were 13, 14-point underdog, weren't they?
So they were heavy underdogs.
And they should have won that game.
They absolutely should have. Well, one, they did the coach analytics thing and didn't go. They didn't take a couple field goals they should have taken.
You know what? It's analytics.
It's
is not analytics. It's
and that
just,
he takes at least one of those field goals, they probably win that game.
I told you he left 9 points total. If you want to be 6 points conservatively in the first quarter.
Correct.
But they should have won because there was a horrific target. Not a horrific. There was a clear targeting call that I don't know how.
There isn't anybody that's saying that was all. You got referees, you got rules analysts coming on saying that was targeting.
Gene Stessator, whatever his name is like, that's clearly that's a targeting call.
And you got even like on Twitter, you got referees coming on saying, no, that's clear definition of targeting. What I can't understand is how they review that and come back and say, no, it's not targeting. I can see how they can miss it on the field.
I agree. It's live action. It was tough.
You don't know.
Close.
You don't know. Sometimes you can't tell where the guy's hitting and stuff. They review it and come back and say it's not targeting. I don't. Those guys should be fired.
That replay, I don't know the process of that, but I agree 100%. That is absolutely malpractice. They should not be able to rule ever again.
Gone. Fired.
You're fired.
Expired.
Thanks, Aunt Nancy. So that was, and Mark Hyland, by the way, I think he's still.
Oh, he's pissed.
He is still, and I get it.
Okay, there's another play too where the 4th and 13 or whatever at the end, that guy catches the ball and
that's the game. That's the second overtime, and that's the game.
They had him stopped. I think that was the first overtime.
Oh, was it
the first overtime?
Okay,
Texas was needed because the Arizona State, I think, had already scored.
Okay.
And it was 4th and 13. He throws that touchdown, but then you look at it from different angles. It's balls hitting the ground.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
That was. I don't know about that. I don't know if you had enough video evidence to overturn that call.
Well, they didn't show. They only showed one angle.
That was tough. By the way, the production of that game was absolute dog shit.
Well, yeah, like I said, they only showed one angle because when I saw it live, I'm like, ooh, I'm not so sure about that.
What's my problem with Joe Tessitore, who's doing the play-by-play?
I don't know. He should probably just stick to boxing.
He's really good at boxing.
Yeah,
but he I don't know. There's something. He's like he's so jacked up from like the first kick. Like I'm an enthusiast. Like when I do play, I'm enthusiastic, right?
Yeah, we got to hold you back a little.
Yeah, I go nuts when there's a big play, but I try.
You're not like Joe Buck and Troy Aikman.
What do you mean? I'm sorry. Did you say something?
And that's a touchdown.
And that's a touchdown, Detroit. Anyway, they've gotten better.
They have.
They're more loose.
I like them now. I think they're probably the best tandem out there.
I agree. I think it's them, Nance, and Romo.
I don't know, Collins. I like Tirico and Collins.
I do like Tirico. You're right.
I think they're number 2.
Okay. I'm not going to argue on that.
But speaking of number
25, are you going to bring up the tallest man alive?
Yes.
He's terrible.
Well, here's where I'm going with that.
I'm gonna
supposedly he's done. Well, there's a lot of people saying he's done
because the Raiders.
But here's the problem: he can't do a lot of the stuff that he needs to be doing. He can't do.
I know.
He can't go in locker rooms. He can't do all these different things.
Well, you know what, Tom? You're bad. You're bad at this. I don't know why. I thought he was going to be much better. I've heard him on his own radio show, his own podcast thing. There is a personality in there. He's so flat. He's so bad.
In fairness, John Madden was not good his first year either. He was not good.
I'm putting it out there. I think if he sticks with it, he will get better.
I agree. I think it's his first year. I mean,
then don't put him in the number 1 spot.
They had to. It's Tom Brady. They're paying him $400 million. $375 million they're paying him.
It's crazy.
So they have to put him. Were they going to put him in the number 4 spot? He's doing he's doing the Jacksonville game and
you know what?
In London or something.
The Atlanta Falcons did it to Kirk Cousins.
That's true. They're only paying him $180 million.
He should have he trained for 9 months. They did all these kind of simulated games. Him and Burkhardt. he's not comfortable. There's nothing there. Even I had the game on because I had Red Zone on for the last time, and Erin cannot handle Red Zone. It's just too much going on. She's like, it's like living with you. When it's the Octobox,
I don't really like the Octobox.
And the four, even the
I don't even
quad box.
I can handle the double screen or whatever.
Box,
I can handle that. I don't like the Octo and the quad.
She's like, I don't know what the audio, whatever. So I turn it to the main game, which is the Fox, which is the Burkhart Brady. And I'm just sitting there, whatever. We were taking the tree down, actually. Speaking of that.
Oh, we'll talk about that later.
In fact, all of our decorations are down.
Oh. That's a touchy subject.
I'm sitting there just minding my own business. All of a sudden, she walks in the kitchen. She goes, "Is this Tom Brady?" Oh, like, yeah. He sucks.
That's offensive. But he's tall.
But he's a good-looking man. He's a pretty man. Anyway,
ask Charles Barkley. Charles thinks he's the hottest guy on earth.
Oh, I have that on my list, by the way.
What?
The Jason Kelsey late night show.
Oh,
did you watch that Friday night?
I did not. Oh, he was on.
It's not good.
I saw like a highlight of it. I think. First of all, Jason Kelsey's getting a little saturated. The market's a little saturated.
Think?
It's almost like
Nick Saban
and Dion.
And Dion.
Oh, but you love Dion, so you're okay with him being on like 75 different commercials.
Yeah, and you know what? It's good marketing because he's trying to get recruits, just like why Bill Belichick's on the Pat McAfee every Monday, because he knows that's how he's going to recruit.
I'm not saying it's right or wrong.
What were we talking about?
Brady. Well, we were talking about. I can't even remember where we were.
We were on the college, but we were
talking about who's the best announcers out there.
Oh yeah. I brought up Joe Tessitore, who for some reason I like this, and my guy Jimmy Train at Sports Illustrated Media Podcast. He's like, just don't annoy me. His whole thing about announcers, like, just don't annoy me. And for whatever reason, Joe Tessitore annoys me.
God, we'd be bad.
We would annoy the shit out of a lot of
people. A lot of people would love us, but
what do you mean? We have the highest ratings on STSPN.
By far.
It's not even actually close.
It's not close.
I'm just saying, we are the A team. We are the
I'm
Al
be
Michaels.
Like everybody loves us. It's tremendous.
Now,
we've got tremendous people that love us.
And Al Michaels, I just heard him on another podcast. He thinks Tom Brady's, he's like friends with Tom Brady.
Yeah.
And he thinks he's doing great. He's doing fine. He'll continue to get better.
When I listen to him, I think he's doing okay.
He's fine.
He's okay. Yeah. He's fine.
But then now, what's so funny is because I didn't like Greg Olsen in the beginning.
Greg's awesome.
When you hear Greg Olsen compared to Tom Brady now, it's like, whoa.
But Greg's been doing it for 3 or 4 years too.
But here's, spoiler alert, you're going to have Tom Brady, Kevin Burkhardt on the Super Bowl this year.
I think it'll be good.
Will it?
Yeah, I do.
God, they just pimp him out.
They have to. They're paying him $400 million.
Even my daughter was like, he's like a cardboard cutout. Like there's just nothing there.
I think he's got something.
I think it's in there, and I'm waiting to hear it. Okay, but we spent way too much time on Tom Brady. Yeah. Jesus Christ. You and your infatuation with Tommy.
You brought him up. You brought him up, Brady. Not me. You bring him up every show.
Okay. Is there other games? Tonight is the Texas-Ohio State game.
Which we've got it on pause, so nobody text us right now. If you hear this 3 days from now, don't text us.
If you hear this in the year 2026, don't text us. He's a complete moron, Kirk Herbstreit. I'm just walking down the list here, people. So there's a blow. Yeah, I'm tired of people giving shit to the CFP, the playoffs. The seeding has to change. This is we're kicking a dead horse here. There's another
little funny anomaly about this.
What?
The bottom teams all got blown out, right?
Yeah.
And
no, the bye teams.
The bottom team. No, in the first round, everybody was pissed because there was blowouts in the first round.
Okay.
Right? Yeah. And then all the teams in the top seed lost too. All the teams that had the bye lost.
That's because
it's like the top and the bottom.
It's not good seeding.
It's just an anomaly.
It's an anomaly, and they got to fix the seeding.
It doesn't mean next year they could do the exact same thing and all the bottom teams could win.
Wait a minute. Are you now in favor of the 12
I'm in favor of the 8-team, 4-team.
Oh my God.
I could do 8.
Hold on. Hold on.
Oh, for crying in the night. What are you doing?
I got
Don't try to put words in my mouth.
you just said you're okay with the 12-team playoff.
No, I said I'm okay with the results of it.
Damn.
Oh, God.
The results of it. So what? You still want a 1 versus 2?
No, I don't care that. I don't care that there was some blowouts.
Are you
that
not
doesn't bother me.
Are you not having fun?
That's what I'm saying. I'm fine with it. I don't care that there's blowouts. That doesn't bother me.
And can I talk to Mark Hyland right now? Mark Hyland, Bob Hyland?
How?
Because I know he's going to listen to this. He listens to weeks before, and then he texts us all this stuff.
Yeah,
how he agrees with you on everything. I agree with I agree with Tim on this.
What am I saying that nobody?
You know what
am I saying that's disagreeable?
You know what? 7 years of friendship with this guy
doesn't mean he's not your
Mark
friend.
Talking, producer Mark, and you agree with freaking Tim on everything. I hate you. This friendship's over.
I hate when that happens.
So wait, this is a big moment for me. So you now are for an
no, I've told you like 27 times. I was okay with the results. You're okay with everything. I think there's too many teams in there, but I'm okay with the results.
Right.
It's right. If I think it's right, it's right.
It's gonna get to 16. That
can we go back to 1 versus 2 and just That's Christmas Vacation right there.
It is right there. Did you watch it?
I did watch it.
Wait, in the last second? What?
I had to watch it by myself one night.
This morning?
I had to watch it by myself. I think I had a cocktail. It wasn't dry January yet. It was still December. Just so everybody knows I wasn't cheating like I'm doing right now. But Scott made me.
You said it, not me. I want plausible deniability.
You don't have it.
Okay, so was it good?
It was awesome.
It's fantastic.
It's the greatest ever.
It's a great movie.
There's so many good, and then every year you pick up something you just forgot about.
Okay, I think
it's a beaut, Clark. They're not twinkling, Clark. I know, and thanks for noticing.
Todd. Julia, that's an underrated role.
Oh God, they're
underrated
for sure. I don't know, Margot. That's become a classic line.
Oh, so good.
Did you do White Christmas this year?
Absolutely, 100%.
Did you really?
Yeah.
And what'd you think?
Loved it. It's fantastic.
It's got some, when you look at like the all-time, it somehow sneaks its way up into the top 10.
You know what? In a focus group during the holidays, the Boyle household, they don't like it.
It's not that we don't like it.
No,
we don't like it.
I talked to the daughters. They don't like it.
I don't even think the daughters have ever seen it.
Mindy doesn't like it.
Mindy thinks it's just not one you want to watch every year. That's different than not liking it. It has its place. Bing is from Tacoma.
He's from Tacoma.
And Gonzaga.
Yeah.
He's a Zag.
I mean, yeah. Sydney
grew up right across the street from my great grandmother.
That's right. I mean, listen, not a far leap. Sydney Sweeney.
Yes.
Bing Crosby.
What?
Both in Spokane. The Gonzaga.
Cindy Sweeney didn't go to Gonzaga.
Well, she wanted to go to Gonzaga.
Did she grew up in Spokane?
Yes.
No, she did.
Yes, she did. Are you serious?
She's from Spokane.
Are you joking me right now?
I didn't know that.
You got to be kidding me.
No, true story. I didn't know that.
Are you serious right now?
I'm dead serious. Cindy Sweeney's from Spokane?
You really have traveled too much. I'm disappointed. I'm disheartened.
Well, we got the one gal from Snohomish that's
which gal?
The model actress married to
John Legend.
Yeah.
So, Chrissy
Teigen is from Snohomish.
Yeah,
and she's
a Panther.
And we got Chris Pratt right up the street at Lake Stevens. He was a wrestler.
Absolutely mighty wrestler. We
got a lot of celebrities.
You didn't know that Sweeney was from
No. Well, I know that Lexi Hall's from Spokane.
Well, yes.
She's kind of a little cutie too.
She is.
That's Caitlin Clark's good buddy.
Well, I have on my list Iowa women's basketball. I don't know if it's on your list,
but somehow it fell off of my list. I think I had it on there
because I have a whole segment dedicated to the Big Ten women's basketball. Because
Iowa basketball, to be honest, they actually put women's basketball on the map about 2 years ago.
They did, and her
and
name.
You and I, you gave me the you had the great tip of me buying a ticket for that game.
That's true. That was fun.
It was Iowa versus
Louisville.
Yeah, and it was what's her name?
Yeah, it was Haley Van Lith.
Haley Van Lith from
Wenatchee.
Well, actually, she's from Kashmir, technically.
Kashmir. Nice apples. They grow real nice apples.
They do. And they had the Applets and Cotlets factory in Kashmir, Washington. You know what else used to be there is the headquarters of Treetop Apple Juice.
I remember driving by there all the time.
I don't know if it's still there anymore. It might have gone to the wayside.
We've lost
everything.
I mean, it's ridiculous how much garbage we have put out in the air.
But the Haley Van Lith, Caitlin Clark game, that was phenomenal.
Haley, why is she at TCU now?
I don't know. It's the transfer portion. Everybody goes everywhere every year. She's been, let's like her 7th school.
It is. Okay. We got to take a break, I guess.
Okay.
Because we got to come back. We got to talk about the National Football League. There's some serious shit going on with our Seattle Seahawks and around the league, frankly. The league.
We got a big day tomorrow and Sunday, too.
Huge day.
Tonight, tomorrow, Sunday.
I need to know.
Monday.
Who's your lock of the week?
Okay,
I'm so tired of the betting. I like to know who's favored and who's, I like to know a little, like a general thing. I don't care about the overs, the under. I'm just tired of the betting. I'm over it.
Wow.
It's too much.
Tell me how you really feel.
I mean, you're a better. You're going to win.
I don't bet.
Yeah, you do. You go to
I one time. In fact, I still got my ticket. Me and Pete the appraiser got Bo Nix on. I don't know if he's gonna do it though.
It's gonna be tough.
It's close. I looked at all the stats. I was analyzing them the other day.
Analytics.
It's close. It's close. And they both have the same record. They're both in the playoffs. Wild card team. Or actually, did the Commanders win? Did they win their division? No, because they're in with Philadelphia, right?
Yeah. They didn't win.
No,
but it's a tight one.
Yeah, it's going to be really. I think it's going to go to. Jaden
Imagine
Daniels.
if Michael Penix Jr. played the entire year.
He didn't though, so
I'm just saying.
Get off of the Husky bandwagon.
Oh, stop.
I'm on the Oregon bandwagon with Bo.
I love Bo Nix. You know I'm a Bo Nix guy. Love him. Sean Payton? Not so much. Okay, we got to get back. We'll come back with the National Football League right after this.
Hi, this is Diana from Cebu City, Philippines, and I'm listening to Scott and Tim's Sports Show.
No, for crying out loud.
For the
what
YouTube.
Are you doing?
What do you mean we're not live on YouTube?
Oh, I thought we were when we were.
No, we're not live.
Oh,
on
thank
YouTube.
God.
Jesus Christ. You kidding me? No, we can't handle that. Oh, sorry. Welcome back.
Oh, we're back. Are we back?
Are we back? Tim's on his beer and a half, and he is loopy.
Right. on a beer and a half on Coors Light.
Okay, the National Football League.
Where do you want to go first?
Well, do you want to talk about the Seahawks? Which, again, I'm going to get into deep shit, and I'm just warning you right now. I don't know if this is for everybody.
It probably won't be.
Because they fired Ryan Grubb, the offensive
I don't know if it's
coordinator.
for anybody, let alone everybody.
Why are you so mean to me a beer and a half in?
Well, okay, go on with your
Okay,
rant.
they
Let's
fired the
hear it.
guy. I'm irate. I said the only thing I think they should have brought the entire staff back. They're all new. I'm going to give them a little grace. I'm going to be basically last year didn't even matter. Literally just erase it from anybody's memory.
They won 10 games.
And they won 10 games. Oh, but offensive coordinator doesn't get credit for that.
Apparently not. Where I can defend you, because I'll defend you.
Will you?
Where I can defend you on this is.
Are you okay?
Not really. Not really. I've been dry for 10 days.
Seriously.
That's the problem.
Finally really broke the seal.
Exactly. So Ryan Grubb gets fired. Now you're really mostly bent out of shape because he was a Husky. If he was if he was from Florida, you wouldn't have a problem with it.
Florida?
But the problem that I have with it is I think 1 year, I think it was a little quick to pull the trigger. But that's the only reason I'm going to defend him, because there's not much else to defend him on. The offense looked pretty lame most of the year.
Okay.
They were middle of the road on just about everything. On rushing, they actually could rush the ball, but for some reason he didn't do it.
That's not.
They averaged like 4.8 yards a rush.
That's not the full story.
We talked about it and went through it all. Okay,
No.
you give me the full story.
The full story is, remember, let me just remind you. Okay. Remember training camp?
Okay.
Remember the quotes by DK, by Tyler Lockett. Everybody's like, oh my God. Even the defenders, Witherspoon was out on the press conference in training camp. Was like, holy shit, man, this offense is something.
Yeah, that's really powerful in training camp. What happened during the season, though?
They come in the first 3 games. We're excited because we're seeing something other than like vanilla Shane Waldron crap.
Vanilla Pete Carroll.
Vanilla
Pete Carroll was the catalyst of all that.
They're going. And according to all the things, there's 2 different narratives going out. Number one is that John Schneider basically talked McDonald, which I have a new nickname for Mike McDonald, the head coach of the Seattle Seahawks.
Okay.
Mannequin Mike.
Okay.
Because he's just like a big one piece of molded plastic because he barely moves. And that's what his personality is.
There doesn't seem to be much personality there. I'll give you that.
There's a piece of plastic.
Belichick is kind of in the Belichick camp there.
Yeah. So they go through in the first 3 games. Everybody loves the offense. DK is excited about the offense. Everybody's fired up. He's doing different stuff.
On like a 4-game losing
streak. Because they played shit.
Yeah.
Okay. What I'm going to say is I'm not sitting here raving about Ryan Grubb's offense. I was expecting more. I was expecting more creativity. I was expecting a little more interesting, exciting football.
That's what because he was very exciting with the Huskies. Now I told you were talking about, what did he just forget how to play or call plays? And my answer to you is, it's easy to call plays when you got UW's offense and you got the best offensive line in football and you got freaking two or three NFL starters on your offensive team on the offense. It's very easy to be good
until they hit Michigan.
Yeah.
Until they hit Michigan. I will take that. Okay. I think that's a contributing factor. Okay.
Well, thank you.
That is weighted. We'll give that some weight. We'll give that about a 10 to 12% weight.
10 to 12%
in our algorithmic.
I think that's got way more weight.
In the algo, as we like to call it.
You could have put Bozo the Clown as the offensive coordinator for the Huskies.
I don't think that's
and he
true.
would have been just fine.
I don't buy that completely. Okay, but that's not. Okay.
What do you got against Bozo the Clown?
I love Bozo. He's a friend of mine. He's sitting next to me, actually. Anyway, the point is that I don't think everybody, all 22 and the X's and O's guys, and there's a difference between, I called Rich Bardu, who is an offensive coach. I'm like, what, is there really a big difference between college offense and pro offense? He's like, yeah, and in the run game, they pull the guard and they go the second level more in the NFL. You can get away with it less than the. Yeah, he goes through all the stuff, and again, he knows what he's talking about.
I'm sure. I have no doubt.
I will grant some of that. I'm not saying, again, I'm not here defending Grubb and the fact
you
that
are. No, you've been defending him for weeks. Since it happened, you've been calling me up, yelling.
I'm about to defend him.
You're defending him. This whole thing is about you defending him
because. The other big narrative.
Also, you're admitting it. You're admitting it now.
Oh, I'm sorry. Are you talking?
No.
I'm not listening. The point is now, revisionist, now it comes out, all the quote unquote reporting is that they didn't get along from the beginning. Well, then why did you hire him?
Well, according to you, he didn't have a choice, right?
Yeah, but then he came out and said, "Oh, I was fully involved in the hire."
Yeah, you don't remember. Well, okay. You remember coaches' lie. Do coaches lie?
100%.
Do they ever tell the truth?
Never.
Exactly.
Never. They don't know their families. Does he even know they had a baby this year? They don't.
But when they quit, they want to spend time with their family.
Of course.
Which retired. Everybody knows that's not true. No. Who wants to spend time with their family?
Nobody. Nobody. So, that's why the holidays are terrible.
Exactly.
Okay. Then the big thing is, well, they were getting along or they whatever. It was tenuous, blah, blah, blah. But then the Giants game happened. Everything fell apart. The broke the camel's back on the Giants loss. Okay. where they lost 29-20 to the shitty.
And they were like the worst team in football at that point.
100%.
And by the way, we can go back. Keep in mind, Seahawks won 10 games and missed the playoffs. You can always go back, or sometimes you can go back to one game, and that's the game. That's the game that kept them out of the playoffs.
I'm glad you brought up that game.
Well, you brought it up, but
let me walk you down a path.
Oh no.
Let me run you into a wall. Okay? Mike McDonald, okay? You're the defensive guru genius, flavor of the year. The Ravens defense, you're the boy toy. Never played, by the way, college football or pro football.
Which is very rare. Mike Leach was in that category.
Never played football. He's a
very rare.
He's a finance major.
He's an analytics guy.
And
seriously, he's an analytics guy.
I know he is hard, and this is where I'm kind of going.
You know how I feel about the analytics.
You love him. And so let me talk about that New York Giant, the New York Football Giants and the Seattle Seahawks. At Seattle, by the way. Okay, home game for Seattle.
And was Danny Dimes benched at this point, or had he been benched?
Danny Dimes is in.
He's still playing.
I believe
which means they should have easily won.
100%. You know how many total yards the Seattle Seahawks and boy genius Mikey Mannequin McDonald gave up that game to the shittiest offense in the National Football League? Not even close. I get the Bears. It's the Bears and the Giants. At this juncture, do you know how many yards they brought up?
How many?
420 yards.
Sickening.
420 freaking yards. And they gave up 245 passing yards and 175 rushing yards.
And keep in mind, Saquon Barkley does not play for the Giants anymore.
Saquon either.
Saquon or Shaquan.
Jesus Christ.
Shaquan's his brother.
You're so bad. The Seattle Seahawks, of course, and this was the big one because the balanced offense. The offense wasn't balanced, and this pissed Mike McDonald off. Right? This is all the stories coming out now, and why Grubb. This was the beginning of the end of Ryan Grubb. Okay, you're right. Passing 231 yards for the Seattle Seahawks through 28 completions. They threw the ball 40 times. Rushing, they only had 11 rushing attempts. They had 102 yards and 11 rushing attempts.
Okay, that's a Ryan Grubb problem right there. So he's getting 10 yards per rush. And they've only rushed 11 times and he's getting 10 yards a rush.
But he's behind after the first quarter the entire
when you're
game.
Behind, you're typically not rushing the ball.
Let me tell you,
he's only rushed he rushed only 11 times and with 100 and some yards.
Let me talk to you about first downs.
Okay.
The New York Giants had 24 first downs. The Seahawks had 17 downs. But that's actually
not bad.
Terrible. That's not bad.
Yeah.
That's okay.
Where are you going with? You got to get somewhere with this.
Guess how many times Geno freaking Smith got sacked against that team, against the New York Giants, the shittiest team in the NFL?
0.
7 times.
Ooh.
7 times.
Well, that's a Geno problem.
For 53 yards.
Okay, so let me just back up and if I was going to defend Geno, he's sacked 7 times. Why aren't we rushing the ball more when you're rushing for 10 yards a carry?
Now, I'm not going to completely let
10. It's actually more. It's like 11 yards.
I'm not going to let Ryan Grubb go on this. Okay, I'm not going to let him completely.
Okay.
I agree. There's some criticism, absolutely.
So that's my issue with Ryan Grubb is when the Seahawks did run the ball, they were averaging like 4.8 yards a rush. Here they were doing like 10, 11 yards a rush.
Well,
why aren't you just shoving it down their throat?
The last point I want to make about this game, which is apparently when it all went wrong. Third down conversions.
That were terrible. The Seahawks can get 8 or 9 yards, no problem. They can't get 1 yard is their problem. That sounds like it's a joke. It's not.
And this is what I'm saying. And Jason Puckett talks about it all the time. It's like, Mike, look in the mirror, bro. You want to point to this game? They were 7 for 16. The New York shit Giants were 7 for 16 on third down conversions.
That's a decent. That's a decent,
really good.
What were the Seahawks?
3 for 11.
Yeah, not good. That's because they can't get short yardage first downs. The Seahawks, honestly, the Seahawks are really good at getting 8 and 9 yards.
And this is also what chaps my ass about this. Oh, well, in all sports talk radio and everybody, all the thing, oh, well, the red zone, they're just bad in the red zone.
They're terrible in the red zone.
Yeah, because they try to run and they can't make a yard. So they have to have Geno throw an interception.
Which he does.
He has a shit ton of them.
He's got the most red zone interceptions, I believe.
Yes.
Or he did for a lot of the year.
He was tied with Jameis Winston, who can't see.
But he can see now. He got him. Went to the place in Renton.
I love the narrative about Ryan. Again, was it great? No. Was he a first time? Was there adjustments? Yes. I'm not saying he was terrific, but you know what? I don't think he forgot how to call plays. I don't think he forgot how football works.
But what worked at UW doesn't necessarily transfer into the Seahawks.
Now, granted, he had a horrific offensive line that was like pieced together in musical chairs. He didn't have a starting running back for half the freaking thing. I mean, he's got shit. He's got Dreher to work with.
Again, if I'm defending Ryan Grubb, one, he came from college into the NFL.
Yeah.
They won 10 games.
Yeah.
Which is actually impressive. No Seahawk first year coach has ever won 10 games.
And I'm sorry, is it just defense? Is that how you win games? I thought winning games is actually having more points than the other team. Is that how it works?
They've always said defense, offense wins games, defense wins championships, blah, blah, blah.
And here's the other thing about Mike McDonald. Again, he's 37 years old or whatever. He's a young guy. This is what we're back to, which I buy more than any of all this other stuff. They just didn't get along.
Well, then he's got to go. Then you got to fire. Well, you got to fire one of them, right? If they're not getting along, one of them's got to go.
And this leads me to my last concern.
Oh boy. This ought to be good.
It's rinse and freaking. It's the same shit that we've been doing for 10 years. Geno Smith is going to be on his 4th offensive coordinator in 4 years.
Yeah.
He can't get any continuity going.
Well, with Pete Carroll.
Same thing with the offensive line coach, because they already got rid of Scott Huff, right? I mean, all of this stuff is changing. If you look at the Chiefs, same staff. If you look at the Eagles, same staff.
Yeah, but you look at their offense, and they've got high-powered offense that's creative, and they're effective, and
that's because they have continuity in their staff, continuity in their offensive line. They draft well, they trade well. Same thing with the Detroit Lions. So this is, again, I think we're just set up.
You look at Detroit. You look at
Detroit.
Kansas.
Why do you call it Detroit?
That's what it is. You look at the Lions. You look at Kansas City. You look at Philadelphia. You look at Minnesota. Their offenses, the Bills, their offenses are very sophisticated. They're creative. They just run the table on people. Then you look at the Seahawks offense, and it's been as vanilla as it can be for years.
Well, you know what?
10 plus years.
I agree with you 1,000%. And guess what? That's what you're going to get again.
Yeah.
Because
a lot of that was Pete Carroll, though. I don't think it was the offensive coordinator. It was Pete Carroll wanting to. So when we beat Chicago 6-3 this year, that was Pete Carroll's wet dream.
100%. And I was going to pull up the stats from that game. If Mike McDonald wants to talk about all this shit, Chicago is the worst offense in the league,
and they're one of the worst teams in the league, and we beat them 6-3. And that was like a nationally televised
Monday night game or a Thursday night game.
What a treat that was for everybody.
Horrible. My concern now about Mikey McD, okay, we can call him Pete Jr., whatever. He wants the same shit. We're going to get boring vanilla offense because that's what it's complimentary football. What is this? Just checking in? Is this like you get a free cookie? The complimentary? Well, I don't understand the complimentary football.
Well, let me ask you a little trivia question here that I think our listeners will enjoy.
Will they?
How many teams won 10 or more games this year?
Like 20?
Well, 15 actually. 15.
Thank you. What do I win?
Almost half the league won.
And that's another.
But guess what?
What?
Then let me ask you the second part of this question. How many teams that won 10 or more games of those 15 made the playoffs?
14.
14.
Yeah.
The Seahawks are the only team that won 10 games and didn't make the playoffs.
And it was on a strength of schedule.
Yeah, it went down to the 5th tiebreaker.
Yeah.
Because their record was the same, their division record. They got all these different criteria, and it went down all the way to the 5th tiebreaker. You're almost getting to the coin flip on that one.
So I got 2 concerning red flags about this. Okay, Mikey McDonald. Number 1, you want boring ball control, run the ball. You're going to get vanilla run the ball. That's what you're going to get. He talks about chasing edges. He couldn't. He's
chasing it. That's a new one to me.
Oh, he's talked about that since day one.
That's one of the buzzwords.
Oh yeah, chasing edges. I made a joke. He's chasing a personality. He hasn't quite found it yet.
Behind the chains, chasing.
Yeah,
the
you're
edges.
off schedule. He's got another one. He wants shocking effort on tape. He looks for shocking effort. That's another one of his terms. I got a problem with Mikey McD.
He won 10 games.
He won 10 games.
He did something no Seahawks coach has ever done.
And so now he's firing everybody?
He fired one guy.
Who was not, I'm sorry, was he not part of the 10 wins?
I can't really defend that necessarily. I'm just
not
that surprised. If they don't like each other, he's got to go.
And you know what? That also concerns me. Ryan Grubb is a South Dakota Midwestern guy who everybody loves because he's so nice and so sincere and so genuine. So Mike McDonald's a finance guy. You work with finance much?
I hate the finance people.
He's an analytic guy. He's a number guy.
Well, you know how I feel about that.
I get he made tough, quick choices on linebackers. I'm still supportive of Mikey D. Okay. I'm not like,
maybe he's got somebody in mind that he really wants.
I'm starting to think, does anybody like this guy?
I don't know. That's a good question.
And so we're going to find out. I mean, his special teams, was his special teams? So special teams? No, I'm sorry.
They sucked.
They sucked. They dropped the ball. They had fumbles. Oh, but Jay Harbaugh, because the truth, ladies and gentlemen, is Mike McDonald was adopted by the Harbaughs.
Yeah. He grew up with the Harbaughs.
He has a room in their houses. And so Jay Harbaugh's not getting fired.
No.
Even though it was absolute trash special teams.
Good. Fair point. Very fair.
So this is not a good sign for Mikey McD.
I didn't think there was any nepotism in football.
There's not. Anyway, okay.
Right,
that's way too much.
You're going to have to cut a half an hour.
No, we're not. That was good shit. I was on a roll.
God, you and Ryan Grubb. Good Lord.
Okay, let's talk about who's the new offensive coordinator. Kafka, who do you want? You want Ben Johnson from the Detroit?
We're not getting Ben Johnson.
We're not getting Ben Johnson.
In fact, I think he's going to be a head coach somewhere.
I agree.
There's a few teams already talking to Ben Johnson. Why wouldn't they look at Detroit's offense?
Detroit. I like how you say Detroit. That's fantastic. Anyway, we're going to take a break because we need to.
We got to get.
That was the big prep I did for the show right there. That was it. I blew everything. I got nothing left in the tank.
You got to get your heart rate down a little.
Let's talk about these playoff games when we come back.
Playoffs.
Guten Tag und Grüß Gott from Bavaria. This is Randy from Neunkirchen, Germany, and you're listening to the Scott and Tim Sports Show.
All right, I apologize to everybody for that deep dive on the Seahawks and Ryan Grubb in the offense. I'm sorry.
I'm sure they'll get over it.
I feel bad now.
Do you?
Not really.
You should.
Anyway, I had a compelling argument there.
You did, but it went on too. It was too much.
Thanks.
You're welcome. But the good news is you won't edit it.
That is true.
Yeah.
I won't.
So we got that going for us.
Okay, so
playoffs.
So you got in the NFC, the Lions, the mighty Lions have a bye this week, a well-deserved.
Yes.
Happened to talk to Jack Campbell's mom today.
Oh, look at you name dropping.
I ain't the one. And Jack's they need the bye week. I'm learning from my inside sources now that are NFL players and their families.
Look at you.
Yeah.
Where did Jack Campbell, was he Iowa State? Where did he go?
University of Iowa, which, by the way,
who didn't go to Iowa?
By the way, the University of Iowa just had a big transfer. The South Dakota State quarterback, who was the #1 quarterback.
No, he went to He's
no,
going
he
to
he
went to
committed.
WSU.
No, he didn't.
The South Dakota State.
Zach Eckhouse is coming back. Zevi Eckhouse.
Oh, we were about to get him.
He committed to Iowa.
And so it was between WSU and Iowa.
Yes.
Give me unbelievable.
See how the podcast?
It's such a small world.
It is, and everything's connected.
Wow. And Zevi's Jew. We haven't even talked about that yet.
We haven't?
No,
I thought we did that.
No, because they hadn't played that bowl game yet.
Really?
No, we haven't talked about that. So that's
got a whole bit on that.
I know. You should have done that for the
Puckett
Open
show. Yeah. So Zevi Eckhouse, an Orthodox Jew, which is extraordinary. This is so rare. It's not even funny.
So true story here. We're watching the bowl game with. And keep in mind the Cougs almost didn't have. They were almost not going to be able to play the bowl game because they had 32 at the time. 32 transfers. They ended up having to let NIL people actually play in the bowl game. But Zevi,
a lot of coaches did.
Yeah, they had to. No, normally you don't do that. If you're in the transfer portal, it's like good riddance. Get out of here. We're not going to reward you with a bowl game. But Zevi Eckhouse comes in, and he's now keep in mind him and Mateer, I guess, battled hard. It was like close with Mateer and Zevi.
Really?
Yes, I guess it was
Johnny Football Mateer.
Yeah, it was a pretty good battle for who was going to start. So Zevi ends up getting the start because Mateer is gone.
Yeah,
tears it up. I mean,
400 yards, 4 touchdowns.
Yeah, 4 touchdowns, and he was like 13 for his first 13.
Yeah, he was incredible.
And while we're watching that, I'm like, man, this guy's good. And Mindy and I are watching the game, and I go, this isn't good. And she's like, why? And I go, he's doing too good. He's going to be in the transfer portal. She starts laughing, thinking it's funny. I'm dead serious. I'm serious. And nobody else was thinking that. Nobody was saying it the next day or anything. I'm like, he's going to be in the transfer portal. Sure as shit, Zevi, the Orthodox Jew, gets in the transfer portal.
Yeah.
Now, in his defense, he ended up withdrawing his name. I don't know if he didn't get any action on that or.
He likes the rabbi in Spokane.
Yeah, exactly. Now, here's my problem with it.
Wait, there's a problem?
Well, I have a problem with the transfer portal anyway.
No.
He got everything. He got his scholarship. Nobody else is recruiting him. The Cougs are recruiting him. He finally gets what he wants. He gets to start. He's going to be the starting quarterback. He has one good game in the bowl game, and he goes in the transfer portal. That's terrible.
I know he had a very tight window. He put it to January 5th.
When your coach leaves, you actually get an extended amount.
Exactly, and he didn't actually extend it.
Yeah.
He could have extended it to later in January.
Yeah, but I give him props for.
I was devastated because I'm sitting there going, Zevi. I go, when did I text you? I'm like, Zevi's Jewish. Because it
was like the next day.
I'm thinking I'm watching Zevi. I read the whole thing. It's like 400 yards, 4 touchdowns. I'm like, oh my God, this guy. I go, Zevi. That is such an Israeli Jewish name. I look it up. Sure enough, I didn't see that. I didn't see the fact he's Orthodox Jew. I mean, that's the tefillin. He doesn't have the curls, but there's a lot of. That's serious. That's heavy.
It's almost like Amish.
That's what we call the high. That's the high rollers.
The funny thing is I get your text. I'm like, oh, of course. He throws 4 touchdowns, 400 yards, and Scott's claiming him as a Jew. Of course. Every time.
Exactly.
And then next thing you know, he's probably went to Iowa. He probably came from Iowa.
He's from Culver City, California. But anyway, I'm excited for the Zevi Eckhouse. But I was worried because it was when he came out of the transfer back into WSU. I'm like, shit, that means that Rogers, the new Washington State head coach from South Dakota State, he didn't bring his phenom quarterback. Yeah. Like it's Wazowski. It's like Mike Wazowski. I don't know who the kid is.
Yeah.
But he committed to Iowa just last week.
Unbelievable. It comes down between WSU and Iowa.
See, Pullman and Iowa City,
they are probably similar, right?
Somewhat. I mean, Iowa City.
Is there like what's it like cornfields and
it is, but Iowa City.
Pullman's all wheat fields.
Yeah, Iowa City's a little bit bigger than Pullman.
Oh, it's more like where's Ames is.
Ames is that's more like Pullman. That's on the very
Ames,
west side.
That's what I'm thinking.
Yeah, you're cycling. You're Brock Purdy.
I am in Brock Purdy. Yeah.
We were talking about the NFL, and now we got onto this.
Speaking of the NFL, I got another little good little trivia question.
How do you store these? Where are these in your pockets?
I just put trivia question ×2, and I remember which ones they are.
Well, you do have a photographic memory that lost.
I used to.
Yeah, it lost the SIM card.
Too many wet Januaries, and I don't have my photograph.
Well, when you're drunk, you don't remember anything.
I don't.
It's incredible.
So something happened in the All Pro voting. Keep in mind, not Pro Bowl, because Pro Bowl I could make the Pro Bowl.
Yeah, exactly. That's a joke.
All Pro. There's a player that went All Pro that's never happened before. First time somebody's ever been All Pro in right tackle and left tackle.
Really?
His name is Christian Wirtz. Christian Wirtz.
Where did he? Wirfs, University of Iowa.
It went to University of Iowa.
It's Wirfs, Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
Never happened.
Really?
Before. Yep. First time ever. Of course, I saw that, and it's like, and he went to Iowa, and I'm like, oh my god.
So speaking,
of course he did. Next, you're going to tell me he's Jewish too.
Speaking of Wirfs, he actually grew up where I grew up in Cedar Rapids, Marion, Cedar Rapids. Yeah, he's from Marion. Yeah, which is right. It's like on the edge of town.
I think you're a couple years younger than he is.
Just a few.
Yeah.
But the big thing about it, if we're going to talk Iowa football, okay, talking to Jack Campbell's mom today.
Oh, another
who's, by the way, Jack
again.
Campbell. I mean, we could be looking at the Watts. We could be looking at brothers situation. We could have been the McCourtys. We could be looking at one of the great NFL brothers.
Yeah.
Okay, because his younger brother, Drew, okay, red shirt freshman this year, defensive end. And guess what?
Scary.
He's 6'5", 6'6", and he's bigger. He's broader and bigger than Jack.
Wow. And he's at Iowa.
And he's a wrestler, won a state championship, I believe.
He must have won it at like heavyweight.
Yeah.
If he's 6'6".
Yeah, no, he's a big lad.
And to be fair, it's when you're heavyweight, it's a lot easier to win a state championship.
In Iowa, though?
Well, I don't know about Iowa. Well, in any state, the bigger you are, the shittier the wrestlers get. Trust me. I could have taken state at heavyweight. I was 141.
Well, you couldn't get the hefty bag off.
I know, I couldn't.
That was a problem.
But no, in my defense, it wasn't hefty. It was like generic, whatever the generic brand of
Oh, that's
hefty.
right. Because Bougie Boy.
Oh, God, I was broke.
We were broke. Poor. You know what? Your paycheck at the Piggly Wiggly wouldn't cover
actually,
it.
my paychecks were pretty good.
Were you?
But I had to pay for. I was on the hook for everything.
You had to drive.
I had to buy my own hefty sacks.
And you had to drive to Chehalis or Portland every week, didn't you?
Oh no, it was Woodland. You mean Woodburn?
Woodburn
to take my
shopping at the outlets.
My stepmom, her father was ill.
Yeah.
So when we didn't have enough cars, so I was always carting her down to Woodburn, dropping her off, picking her up the next week.
Were you at a young age taking everybody to their colonoscopy?
I think it started with taking my stepmom to Woodburn, Oregon all the time, and then it transferred into the colonoscopy driver. If you need a colonoscopy driver, I've done like 10 people.
Tim Uber is really the tuber.
Now, keep in mind, I don't go in the room with them or anything.
But he has to go sign. I can speak.
I got to sign for it. Yes.
Yeah.
I got to sign. I can't leave the premises.
Wait, didn't you go to like Buster's at something? Did you go during mine?
Dave and Buster's?
Yeah, didn't you go to Dave and Buster's?
No.
It was in the facility.
No. That's you. You went to Bellevue.
Yeah.
Right? No, I went to Target and shopped or looked around for a little bit. Looked for some Christmas lights.
I don't know how we got here.
But yeah, we're off. We're way off the reservation.
Really?
Yeah.
Rare. Okay, so the NFL playoffs. Any more freaking trivia you got in your back pocket?
No, but we do got FFR plays tomorrow.
Ravens, Steelers. God, is Lamar, and you have this on your MVP. I there's stats. You could talk about Jimmy B, the poor Jimmy B. Jimmy.
Yeah, stats.
I mean, Joey Burrows. You could talk about small hands. Got an extension. Darnold.
Should be right up there for MVP.
I'm sorry, Lamar Jackson is so much fun to watch play football. Him and Mahomes, my homie, I could watch them all day.
Mahomes
put Josh Allen in
Mahomes
there.
didn't even make the Pro Bowl this year.
He didn't?
No, not even because
Why?
Because you got Lamar Jackson, you got Josh Allen, you got Joey Burrows. I mean, there's a whole Bo Nix. I mean, there's a whole bunch of people that have better years than Mahomes.
But Lamar Jackson is electric.
The amazing thing is his stats and Josh Allen's stats. It's almost like they're different stats. They both have the stats for MVP.
Yeah.
Josh Allen's actually got more touchdowns, rushing touchdowns.
Yeah.
You would think it'd be Lamar, but it's actually Josh Allen.
No, yeah, you would. But he's throwing the ball much better and more this year. He's just more contained. He's not making as many mistakes. God, he's just so fun to watch because once he gets out, it's just all havoc breaks loose.
Well, and don't forget you got Shaquan and Saquon Barkley.
Jesus Christ.
That he has 2,000 yards. Now,
my friend Tim.
He's got MVP numbers too.
I know.
2,000 yards.
I know.
And he did 2,000 yards in 16 games.
That's true. He didn't play on the Eric Dickerson thing, but that was kind of an asterisk situation.
Yeah.
Okay.
But, so he, again, Joey Burrows definitely had MVP numbers.
What a shonda.
It's a big, and they almost made the playoffs. Denver's the one that booted him out, I think.
Yeah.
Denver winning, I think.
Okay, so let's go through and get your hot picks.
Okay.
Okay, you got Texan Chargers tomorrow, which is nobody talks on the East Coast. Nobody even cares about Harbaugh and the Chargers. I mean, that's a remarkable job.
Where are they going to play that game?
Texan Chargers.
Did they move that one to Glendale also? Because I know they moved the Rams to Glendale already.
That's a great question. LA's favored by 3.
That's supposed to be the home field.
Yeah, that's true.
But if they already moved the other game, they'd have to move that game.
I don't know. I don't want to click on this.
So it might be in Glendale.
It could be. I don't know where this is.
Have they put that on there yet?
I'm looking.
I have to be in Glendale.
You'd think it would be. No, NRG Stadium in Houston, Texas.
Well, it's funny because it shows that San Diego's the home.
I know it did show that, but that it's actually in Houston.
Did Texas win? Texas didn't. Did they win
Texans
their division?
won, yeah.
Oh, they won their division.
Yeah, they won. Their division.
Then they definitely got the home
okay.
field.
So moving on, Ravens Steelers.
I'm gonna take the Chargers in that game.
I am too. They're favored by 3. I'm gonna take Chargers all the way.
Ravens Steelers. God, that's always a close one.
But Baltimore's favored by 9.5.
I'd take the Steelers to cover. Is what I would take.
Okay, you take Steelers to cover. Points.
Yeah.
I agree. I mean, if I'm betting, I see where you're going there. At the same time, just I want the Ravens to kill.
Oh, absolutely.
Which is hard for me. I grew up a Steelers fan. I love Mike Tomlin. Yeah, because it was the same colors.
Tomlin too.
Terry Bradshaw, Lynn Swann, John Stallworth.
See, I was a Dolphins fan, so I hated the Steelers back in the 70s. It was always the Dolphins, the Raiders, and the Steelers were all like going at it during the 70s.
I mean, Mike Tomlin, especially if you watch Hard Knocks on the NFL, the AFC North, Mike Tomlin's just tremendous.
He'll end up being in the NFL Hall of Fame. He's had 17 years with a winning season every year.
I want him to go in the booth. Do you
think he's got enough personality?
Oh my God! Al Michaels said he is going to be. If he ever leaves and he decides to do it, he will be It'll be like the most unbelievable analyst in the world.
That's funny because he doesn't put off those vibes. This is
why you got to watch Hard Knocks.
Okay, it's ballers, right?
Well,
everything's ballers.
I did have a ballers clip set up, but I'm not going to play it.
Okay, so let's move on.
Bills Broncos. That's an interesting game.
I'm gonna take the Bills just because they're I think I'd prefer the Broncos to win.
Would you really?
I don't. Well,
it's Bills Mafia.
It's
they haven't won forever.
It's Bo Nix.
That's because there's your bias because you're rooting for Rookie of the Year.
It won't matter. It will have no bearing on Rookie of the Year.
Buffalo favored 9.5.
I'd take the Broncos and the points.
Yeah, 9.5 a lot.
That's a lot in the NFL.
The Bills should win that. The Bills really got to get over their playoff
Oh, see, they got these. See, they got the Bills on the top on that too, and it's obviously going to be in Buffalo.
Bills,
I wonder what the weather's going to be like.
Ooh, snow.
There could be snow.
Snow.
Oh,
Snow.
God. Good
Snow.
Lord. And White Christmas has to come into it.
Why you gotta hate? Oh,
Okay.
we have a new segment that I didn't prep properly for.
Which
It's
one?
the Tim Boyle Hate Rolodex.
Oh, that's a big segment.
That is.
That's a
we
big
don't
segment.
have time for tonight.
No, that's going to be another episode.
Okay, moving on the other side of the bracket on the
Vikings,
NFC.
Rams. Now keep
Vikings,
in mind,
Rams. I think, you know what? Who's the Minnesota's favored by 3. Who do you got?
I think the Rams could win that straight up.
I agree with you.
And here's why. The Rams are supposed to play in LA, but they moved it to Arizona. The Rams will probably have more fans in Arizona than they will in LA. They have no fans in LA.
Now,
plus, half of California's already moved to Arizona anyway, so it makes sense they have more fans in Arizona.
Now, shout out to the Vikings fans. They are good. They will travel.
Oh, hell yeah.
They're legit.
Yeah, they're excited.
Skull.
That's
what they say. Vikings, skull.
Oh.
It's the Norwegian. Are you with me?
I guess so.
Do I need to do my John Gruden right now? Knock if you're with me, man.
Knock if you're with. Yeah.
Okay, so I'm picking the Rams. That's interesting because I think
the Rams win straight.
I think they're thinking the Vikings are dicey. Small hand Darnold. I don't know. They got just shellacked by Detroit. Buccaneers, Commanders.
What's the spread there?
That's
that's
Tampa Bay is favored by 3.
I think Tampa Bay wins that game. It's at home. It's a home game for Tampa Bay.
It's a home game for Tampa Bay. They should win. You know what? They should win. They're the better complete team.
They are the better team.
But I got to tell you, Jaden Daniels, he's got some magic.
He does.
He's got some magic.
And then you got Eagles, Packers.
That's a game.
God, that wouldn't surprise me to see the Packers win. Ooh.
Philly's favored by 5.
I'd take Green Bay and the points on that one.
5? Okay.
I could see Green Bay winning that game.
Yeah.
Jalen Hurts is back.
Hurts is back.
Yeah.
They got everybody's back.
They got the tush push. Hate that freaking thing.
They don't do it as much.
No, they don't.
Well, that's because Jason Kelsey's gone. He's
gone
Hollywood. Eagles, Packers, boy, that's a good matchup. Interesting. I got to take the Eagles. Eagles, fly.
I think the Eagles win that.
Yeah.
I think the Packers can cover, but I think the Eagles win.
So there you go. Are you Chiefs? You can't.
I think the Chiefs are they're not even one and done.
Wait a minute.
Who do the Chiefs? We don't know who the Chiefs have. Right?
We don't know who they're going to play
because they reseed. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I think the Chiefs aren't going to get out of the first round, or the first. I guess it'd be the divisional round. Yeah. Chiefs do not get out of the divisional round.
Damn. That is a hot take.
Is it?
OMG.
Seriously, really? I think the Chiefs are going to be in the Super Bowl, and I think they have a really good chance of winning it.
Really?
Yeah.
They
have a way, man. They have a
they do
way, and they
do.
I'm sorry. Agree. You bet against Patrick Mahomes, and it kills you. It's like the old days of Brady. You never bet against Brady.
But they won because they were better. The Chiefs are winning all these games because they get the freak. Every call goes to the Chiefs.
Oh God, here we go.
You know it's true.
I
know it's true.
I think it's
they've won both their last Super Bowls because of crap. They got all the calls during the game. That one against Philadelphia. The one against Philadelphia, Philadelphia got screwed on that pass or that defensive hold or whatever at the end of the game. That was BS.
I think Chiefs
Not
are there.
That I'm bitter.
It sounds like you are.
Nah, Chiefs aren't going to get there.
Sorry, Frank
Chiefs
Capo.
do not get to the Chiefs.
I think they do. I think they get there.
Frank Capo, I love him, but they're not getting there.
All right. We got to get out of here. We need bonus section.
All right.
I mean, we haven't talked about the Mariners.
There's nothing to talk about. They haven't done anything.
To not talk about.
Yeah. Okay, we're going to talk about everything they've done during the off season. Okay, next segment.
Well, I have a new character I'm developing.
Which one?
For the Mariners.
And?
It's Dipoto, but it's Dippy Doo Dada.
Dippy. I like dipshit Dipoto.
Dipshit Dipoto's legendary. All right, bonus coming up next. 137. Good gracious.
Good Lord.
Good God. We'll be back.
Hey, you still listening?
All right.
Because we're back.
Bonus
We're back.
time.
That was a long break.
Bonus time. Bonus time.
I got a good what you watching.
Do you really?
I do.
Okay, go ahead. Wait, do you want to go? So I got two topics.
Do it. Go ahead.
Okay, number one. Did you watch Jason Kelsey's new late night show on ESPN?
I think I got a little. No, it was on ESPN.
It's on ESPN.
No,
late
I heard it
night
wasn't
on
good.
Friday nights. It's horrible.
First of all, Jason Kelsey needs to just step back a little bit.
But he
It's
gets
like,
these offers. Why is he getting
how
offered?
How many commercials and things does he have to do?
He's like Kirk Herbstreit. He's flying everywhere.
Well, first of all, he's got his podcast, which he makes $1 billion
$1 million a year, or $100 million.
Between the two of them.
No, he got offered $100 million by Spotify or somebody to go buy his podcast.
So why does he even do any of this stuff then?
Then he's on Monday Night Countdown.
Yeah,
which he's very good. With
He's
him
good.
and
I
Swagoo,
agree,
that's
but
very
he's on
funny.
like 37 commercials too.
He is. He's nonstop.
It's like, come on, you're
So-
oversaturated.
So then he's got his wife in the
now his
Late
wife's
Show.
his wife's totally in the spotlight.
100%.
It's like that's just a little bit too much.
But they, in their defense, as you like to say, they know their 15 minutes of fame is going to flash in the pan. It's going to be over.
It's not going to
So
matter. The guy's
So
going to
make the money grab and get out.
But he's got the money grab. When you're doing $100 million, I mean, plus he's already a multi-millionaire
Hey.
on top of that.
They did have Caitlin Clark on. It was outstanding.
I'm going to have to try to find that.
You are.
episode.
Did Mindy listen to that? Mindy.
I don't think so.
Mindy, did you listen to that one?
She did listen to that podcast at one point.
Yeah, it's a good one.
But now I think we're her favorite podcast.
Are we?
I'm pretty sure.
Sorry to hear that. So, anyway.
Okay, so
So
where were you going with that? It was terrible.
it was not great. I got to give it 2 or 3 times, but it was not good. They did have Charles Barkley on.
I love Charles.
He's just delightful.
Oh, he's the best.
Just entertaining, funny, just fantastic. My next bonus is I got a weather station in my house.
Do you?
Yeah, Oregon
Is yours like mine?
Scientific.
It's always the opposite. If it's raining, it says it's sunny, and if it's sunny, it
Well,
says
we really rely on time and temperature for ours. We really,
Okay.
it's got the moon and it's got the
Yeah.
sunset and everything. So all of a sudden it goes to Celsius.
Oh, that's bad.
And
You don't want that. You don't want that.
So I
What are you in Europe?
well, it's funny you should say that.
Are you gonna start smoking now? Firing up some heaters?
I might. They live forever.
I know.
They
Apparently
drink
so.
and smoke and they live forever and they have no disease.
Apparently, the secret is drinking and smoking.
Exactly. So
Why am I doing dry January?
Great question.
Yeah.
So the weather station, right? This is a constant battle with the weather station. Okay. So I go in there, I hit the default, I go through, it's got all this modes and everything. I replace the battery. You know, you gotta reset to
Yeah.
factory settings.
You got to reprogram it. Yeah.
It still is on Celsius.
Well, can't you change it with there's got to be an easy button to
Well,
change that
I
with.
thought I had that figured out. And then you know what happened to me?
No.
After doing a couple puzzles over the holidays.
You did some puzzles?
Yeah. I actually enjoy puzzles.
It's good for your brain.
That's exactly where I'm going.
Yeah,
I go, I hit the double nickel. I mean, things aren't going too well up here in between the ears. I mean, the noggin is all over the place. And I think to myself, you know what? What is the translation of Celsius to Fahrenheit? This is a party trick. It's ×2 + 30.
×2 + 30.
So if it's 5 degrees Celsius, that's 5 × 2, that's 10. You add the 30, it's 40 degrees Celsius.
Okay,
or
well,
Fahrenheit.
let's do. So what about 0?
So 0 × 0 or ×2 is 0.
Okay, and then you add what?
Add 30.
So see, that's not the right equation.
It is the right equation.
It's not the right equation because it doesn't work in that case because 32 degrees is the same as 0
Celsius.
Yeah.
Okay.
32. So that equation doesn't work.
Okay. In general, because there's points. There's like 0.5.
Well, I like to be
0.4.
accurate. I don't want to be like 2 degrees off and go, well, it gets you kind of sort of there.
No, you don't. You don't like accuracy.
I love accuracy.
No, you don't. You exaggerate like I do.
That's different. That's completely different.
Texans,
I like to exaggerate.
Texans have been in the playoffs 8 years in a row.
Yeah. Which they haven't.
Anyway, so I
see what you mean. It works 80% of the time. It's 100%
it's
accurate.
pretty good.
Yeah,
I mean, it's not
I get
usually
it.
zero here.
I know. Well, that's zero in a lot of places, though.
So I've decided.
Okay.
Unbeknownst to the wife, she still has no idea what the temperature is.
Well, apparently nobody does because that formula doesn't quite work.
It does work.
It gets you in the ballpark.
Ask the chatty GPT.
It gets you in the vicinity.
And I've decided we're keeping the Celsius.
Wow.
Yeah, we're keeping it because I like the mental exercise of figuring it out.
All right.
That's my bonus section.
I like it.
If you're not watching The Diplomat on Netflix,
oh, I'm not.
You have to.
I'm not.
It is absolutely sensational.
Okay, I watched the first season of that and I liked it. So
go to season 2. It's just as good.
We're watching. God, I hate to. We're watching Bad Sisters. Have you seen?
It's phenomenal.
Have you seen the second season?
I haven't seen the second yet. The first was tremendous, and I heard the second is
the
just
first
as good.
season. Let me tell you where I'm at on the second season.
Are you going to spoil it?
No, there's not going to be any spoiler.
Spoiler, Timmy?
I was about to quit last night.
Why?
I'm going to get to that. Just keep your pants on here. So it was, I was not, and first of all, it's hard. They're Irish, right? And I'm Irish too, but I don't speak the language. I speak English, not Irish.
Okay, man.
It's kind of hard to understand the Irish.
So
we need to get the closed captioning on.
Yeah, you do. I like watching television.
Do you like? I
love reading television.
Do you?
Constantly reading it. Yes.
Well, sometimes when it's the Irish speaking, you almost have to have it. But anyway, I just was about to tell Mindy I'm done with this, and then something happens at the last, second. I'm not spoiling anything.
No, don't tell me.
Something happens. It's like, God damn it. Now I got to keep watching it. Mindy's all excited because I was literally this close to saying I'm done.
Why were you done?
It's kind of slow moving. It's a very slow moving show.
It's just why you didn't like slow horses.
I know that was way too slow. But anyway, so I'm watching something that's really good on the Peacock.
On the cock?
On the cock. Day of the Jackal.
Really?
It is outstanding.
I do give you credit for obscure shit.
This is absolutely outstanding.
Tell me the genre. Scary?
So it's more like sniper, special ops type.
I'm interested.
The guy that's the star, God, I'm trying to think. He's been in a bunch of stuff. He's kind of a redheaded, skinny guy. I think he's like from Britain or something.
That's close. You've really narrowed it.
There's not a lot of redheaded, skinny guys out there. Come on.
Isn't there?
No, he was in
Conan O'Brien.
Pillar.
Is it Conan O'Brien?
No. This guy's like maybe 30. He was in Pillars of the Earth or World with. He's a very popular actor out there, but I can't remember his name.
That's okay.
But anyhow, he's like an assassin. No, he isn't. He's not like an assassin. He is an assassin, but really, really good. But then there's an MI6 British special ops gal that she's really good too, and they're like going head to head.
What service is this on, or where?
It's on the Peacock.
Oh, the Peacock. I'm sorry, you said that. The Peacock.
Yeah. Highly recommend it. I'm on episode. It's 10 episodes. I think I'm on episode.
I gotta
9.
see if I have the Peacock because I shaved almost $100 off my Comcast bill.
Oh, you did?
Yeah. You want me to tell you the party trick?
Yeah.
You have to go in and basically figure out how to create a brand new account.
Did you go into the place?
I went into the
place.
because
when I went in there, they're like, no, we can't do any of that.
Yeah, because existing customers don't mean crap.
Okay, that's why.
And the guy's like, the only way to help you is to give you our new customer incentive deal.
So what did you have to do?
So I'm the account holder.
Okay.
Okay. Erin Messina is now the account holder. She created a brand new account. We got almost $100 off her bill.
Did you drop everything else? How'd you do that?
I can't believe it. 1 hour and 47 minutes into this podcast, I'm about to drop this on you.
Okay.
I no longer get Root Sports.
Oh. Why?
Because I don't want it.
Oh, really?
And I don't.
Well, I thought it came with the package. And
I dissed the package. I said goodbye to the package.
Really?
I no longer have the package.
Wow. Well, Big Al isn't. You and Big Al aren't going to be able to get excited every year like you normally do, and they're going to win the World Series and everything's great.
That would be really challenging for Big Al.
Well, I know. That's what I'm saying.
6 feet under.
Yeah. So you don't have him there to egg you on.
I don't,
because you and Al were every year like, oh, this is the year. You know.
And you know what? You came along for the ride.
I did not.
Yes, you did.
Never.
You love him.
I did get hooked on him as far as I was watching him every night.
Well,
I was never there winning the World Series.
So there's two things. Number one, the dead to me. Number two, right now, I don't care. I was a very delicate decision. I don't care about Root Sports. I don't want to see the Mariners. Plus, I'm hedging my bet. I don't think they're going to be on Root Sports next year.
Okay. Well, that's okay. That's good. We'll finish that conversation off the air. I don't want to bore the listeners anymore with that.
We haven't bored them yet, have we?
Allegedly.
Only for an hour and 35 minutes, the hour 48.
Well, if we cut a half an hour out of your Ryan Grubb thing, we'll be down to like 2 hours.
Never.
All right. I'm done.
All right. We
watch Day of the Jackal.
Day of the Jackal. That's a good tip right there.
It's really good.
Finally.
I mean, it's damn good.
Finally, we get something out of you.
Thank you.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, we want to thank all the guests we never got. Pete DeBrazer, is he on the 25 docket?
I don't know. If we win this, if we win the Bo Nix thing, we'll get him on.
Okay. I do want to thank our great sponsors, STSPN. Go to STSPN.com.
Don't forget Abner Doubleday and the Double Standard.
And a huge shout out to our great sponsor, the best-selling New York Times #1 book,
Future,
The Double Standard, by Bob Smith and Ezra
Timothy.
O'Shaughnessy.
It's Timothy Goldstein.
All right, good night.
Good night, everybody.
That's good shit.